Now we're going to figure out how many subsets we could get with any given set. Just remember, a subset has to contain all the elements of the set we're considering, and then also it could be equal. So for instance, just to remind everybody, 1, 2 is a subset of 1, 2, 3, 4. And a subset can be equal because we've got that line. So the set 1, 2 is also a subset of the set 1, 2 because they can be equal. So let's just consider this set that has one element in it. The set that has one element, since they can be equal, the set itself is a subset. And then the empty set is always a subset. We looked at that back in our subset section as well. So there are two subsets. Now let's consider the set that has two elements. Now we know that the thing itself is a subset because we said they can be equal over here. We know the empty set is also a subset. We went over that before. And then also these smaller sets are also subsets. If I look at that set there in red, the one that is A, the set containing A is a subset of the set containing AB. I'll write that out. That's a true statement. So this one has 4 subsets. So you notice I doubled the amount of subsets. And that happens each time. Every time I add an element, I double how many subsets they would be. So we write that using an exponent. If we were to double or triple or quadruple, those are exponents. It's always going to be a base of 2. You can see that right here, base of 2 to the n, where n is the number of elements. We saw that before with that cardinality. And let's look, I'm going to skip down here to this example so we can see. So if I had 6 elements, that would be 2 to the 6. I'm going to type that in my calculator and get 64 subsets. Now I'm not going to list all those out. That'll take a long time. But if I had 6 elements, maybe the numbers 1 through 6 or the first 6 letters of the alphabet, there would be 64 possible subsets. Going back to those proper subsets, remember the difference between a proper and a regular subset is you can't be equal. So for instance, going back to my example I had before, up at the top, the set 1, 2 is a proper subset of 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't write this one because they can't be equal. 1, 2 is not a proper subset of 1, 2. To be a proper subset, you have to be strictly smaller. You have to have a less cardinality. So that means that we are getting rid of one of them. We're getting rid of the one that's equal. That would mean up here, getting rid of that guy. So instead of 2, I would have 1. You're getting rid of this guy. So instead of 4, I would have 3. So you always have to subtract the one that's equal. So down here, the number of proper subsets would be 63. 1 less. You're getting rid of, you're subtracting, you're throwing away the subset that is equal. So there's only one of those, so that's why we subtract 1. So these two formulas will tell us every time the number of subsets and the number of proper subsets.